Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, my group will explain Apache Flume review. And firstly, we were gonna talk about the introduction, which will be explained by my friend.
All right, so I'll be talking. So, as a brief introduction, I want to talk about when we make websites, applications, and web servers. We will be generating a lot of log data. So, this log data would then need to be collected, stored, and also be used. Well, in this case, as mentioned before, we'll be talking about a tool called Apache Flume. And Apache Flume does exactly what I mentioned. It basically stores these log data to a centralized data store and which are collected from the web servers so that we can use it when we make application and websites. A simple scenario that I can give you is where Apache Flume can be used is when e-commerce web applications such as Amazon, Tokopedia, or anything else for that matter, perhaps would like to analyze the customer behavior from a particular region. Well, a company can do this if they have log data readily available for analysis, and Apache will help and to collect those data and store it and be able to use it. So, for just a brief introduction. So, for further details, I'm gonna pass it to my friend who is gonna talk exactly what is Apache Flume.
Okay, thank you, Aurora, for the introduction. This is a short background of what Apache Flume is. So a flume in the English language is basically like a stream where loggers can move logs down the stream to be processed, and that's exactly what Apache Flume is. So Apache Flume was founded by the Apache Software Foundation themselves back in 2012. It's a software application that is reliable, distributable, and available for service that is effective, efficient for collecting events and logs with like a very simple architecture. So with less points of failure, there's less failure. Mm, It is ultimately used to collect log data present in log files from web servers and migrating into an HDF for analysis. Doing so, it is also considered to be robust and fault tolerant. It has a tunable reliability mechanism and many failover recovery mechanisms. Again, with a simple, extensible data model, it allows the software to do online analytic application. Okay, architecture will be explained by Fabian.
Okay, the next part is Flume architecture. Now, a Flume architecture is an agent with JVM process, which abbreviation for Java Virtual Machine, that has three components, which is Flume source, channel, and sink, through which events propagate after being initiated at an external sources. As we can see by the image, the few components make up of the architecture. We have the agent, which is the main square part in the architecture that consists of source, channel, and sink. Outside of it, we have web server and HDFS. But the main topic we want to talk about is the agent, because every part of the component has their own meaning. So in the above diagram, we have the data sources, which a consumer that will consume the events generated by the external sources, such as web servers and more. And the external source sends event to the Flume source in a format that is recognized by the target source. Now, the next one is the channel. After the Flume source receives an agent, it's going to store it in the channel, one or more channel. The channel acts as a store which keeps the event until it's consumed by the Flume sink. This channel may use as a local system in order to store these events. After the channel stores it, the Flume sinks remove the event from a channel and store it into external repository like HDFS. There could be multiple Flume agents, in which case Flume sinks forward the events to the Flume source of the next Flume agent in the flow. The next part is the important features, which are going to be explained by my friend.
So the important Flume has a flexible design based upon streaming data flows. It is fault tolerant and robust with multiple failovers and recovery mechanisms. Flume Big Data has different levels of reliability to offer, which includes best effort delivery and an end-to-end delivery. Best effort delivery does not tolerate any Flume node failure, whereas end-to-end delivery mode guarantees delivery even in the event of multiple node failures. Flume carries data between sources and sinks. This gathering of data can either be scheduled or even driven. Flume has its own query processing engine, which make it easy to transform each new batch of data before it is moved to the intended sink. Possible Flume sinks include HDFS and HBase. Flume Hadoop can also be used to transport event data, including but not limited to network traffic data, data generated by social media websites, and email messages.
Okay, for the next part is the advantage and the disadvantages. For the advantage, the first one is the Apache Flume can store information in concentrated store like HBase and HDFS. And the second is Flume is adaptable, solid, and shortcoming open-minded and adjustable for various sources and sinks. And also the Flume is evenly versatile. And in the event that the read rate surpasses the compose rate, Flume gives a consistent progression of information among peruse and compose tasks. And Flume gives dependable message conveyance. The exchange in Flume are channel-based, where two exchanges are kept up for each message. And utilizing Flume, we can ingest information from different worker into Hadoop. It gives us an answer which is solid and disseminate and causes us in gathering, conglomerating, and moving enormous measure of informational indexes like Facebook, Twitter, and online business sites. And it encourages us to ingest internal real-time information from different sources like organization traffic, web-based media, email message, log document, and so on in HDFS. And for the disadvantages is the throughput that Flume can deal with relies upon the sponsorship store of the channel. In this way, versatility and unwavering quality is under question when the decision of support store isn't picked carefully, thinking about all elements. And the second is for the endeavor. Estimating the equipment of an ordinary Flume can be interesting, and by and large, its experimentation along these lines, its adaptability viewpoint is regularly put under a focal point. And for the last is it doesn't ensure that message coming to is remarkable.
Now, the last part we're going to talk about is the depth comparison to provide the big data analysis and processing environment in general. Now, the architecture in the processing environment in economy driven by the internet and globalization, social network, and in mobile computing, big data is becoming a concern for enterprises. Now, capturing the processing and the analyzing of big data can provide a huge competitive advantage by adding the following aspect, which is one of them, the company ability to respond to dynamic market condition and customer needs. Now, the next thing is the approaches. Data analysis is important of a successful business, and effective use of the data, you can better understand the company, previous performance, and make better decision for the company's future activities. Data can be used in many ways at the level of company operation. All industry must have 4 types of data analysis, which is descriptive analysis, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Although we divide those categories into several categories, they are all linked together and built upon each other. As you move on from the simplest type of analysis to more complex analysis method, difficult and required resource increase. At the same time, the level of increase in sight and value has continued to improve. Now, the common use cases in Apache Flume is for fraud detection, IoT application, aggregation of sensor and machine data, and alerting or SEIAM. Now, lastly, the method, the overall goal of the work is to promote realization of the big data system. And the implementation of big data system, important consideration include the system architecture design and the utilization of underlying technologies and product and service. The goals of this work are firstly the design technology independent reference architecture of big data system and the classify related technologies and product service relative to the reference architecture. And I think that's it for our Apache Flume review. And thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. It's also interesting because I'm very impressed actually with the Apache Flumes, Apache Plumes, yeah, for today. It's one of the also the advanced tools for delivering the services for supporting the big data analysis. Yeah. So my question is about what the characteristic of the Apache Flumes. It is like when we discuss something like okay real-time processing or maybe like yeah batch processing, which one is more fit with the Apache Flumes?
Maybe I'm not that sure about this, but in my
Yeah.
opinion, it's stream processing because it takes real-time log data and stores it and processes it because there's a buffer as well. So I think it's stream processing.
Stream processing. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much for the team. Well done. It's also a good presentation. Thank you very much. Yeah.